Right, so I'm just going to use a small brush. I'm going to go into this darker colour again. The darker lavender. And then just up in here, I'm going to paint some of that in for this ruin. This is still sat quite far away in the distance. Is this? Don't come right to the edge because I want to soften that. I don't want it to be quite so sharp. Just come down just in front of where you want it to go. Same in there. And block that in. And then this edge now, I'll just go right down perfect on this edge. There, see how it's quite soft. There. I will use a smaller brush in there as well. A much smaller brush. But just to get these bigger areas, I'm going to use this one. Now, just there we've got a little window. I'm just going to paint around where this window's going to be first. Get rid of any big lumps of paint if you have any on your brush. And I'm just going to come in there. And then paint below it. There. See that? I've just left that window showing, and now them trees that are behind you can see through the window. And we've got the same with this as well, what we've done here. The exact same thing. So I know I need quite a bit under there. Get rid of the majority. I'm just going to come back into there. Don't go over that edge though. Determined. Make it so you're determined not to go over that edge. That's what I wanted. Now, just use up paint I've got on my brush and I can block that in. There. Just for the bottoms of the windows. Now, I'm going to forget going in between them at the moment. And I'm just going to do this. It's part of the ruin. Underneath that slightly. Now it's going to get darker as it comes this way, so I'll just use this colour first of all up in here for this. And that comes straight down. Then that in. want this layer to stand out from that layer in tone. There we go. I love doing this. I just love painting these old ruins and castles and stuff like that. It's a real favourite of mine. Just up in there. We continue that on. Bit more colour. Darken it slightly inside. And then I'm just going to go across for that top edge. There. Straight through. And then just here, I know that it goes more of an angle like so. See, I'm doing it stage by stage, step by step. There's no rush in it. Just take your time. There. Steps out there a bit, remember? Pin down into that. Perfect. Happy with how that's going. Really coming on a tree. Smart. Now we've got a lot of this colour, so what I want to do is just create an area for this ruin to continue on, just in here. And it does this, goes right through. So it gets lighter as it goes to the light source. So I just get a little bit of titanium white into that colour. And it'll lighten it off automatically for you. There. It's only really as it gets in towards the light that I'm doing that. And then I'm back to my dark again, my dark colour. Dark area, and make it go from dark into the lighter lavender as you get closer to where the sun is. So it's dark in there. Just dark enough to contrast against that tree. Just. That's perfect. There. And that can come through and go right down, and then it goes just in front like so. But it's quite light in there. Brilliant. Now I'll just use this same dark colour. I'm just going to block in underneath that, just for the moment. Same in here. Now I just want to get the darker tone now, and then just in here it comes down. Bit across, a little bit up there. See that? Loads and loads of little rocks going on. Now it does actually get darker soon. As it comes round this corner, it gets darker. So what I'll do, I'll just block it in first with that colour tone. And then just add a tiny bit of dark, a bit of black to the colour, just to darken it off. Enough. Just enough. So we'll put this colour in here first. Good. You've got to do it all first of all with the blue, the lavender, and then we'll go into that with a bit of black. But it's definitely more distinguishable on this edge. Definitely. Much more distinguishable. Much more in silhouette. Back to my darker tinge colour. Now along here we've got an area which actually pops up to, I think it's like that, and then it comes straight down to that. And then it goes down again, just there. Smaller as well as it goes to this side. Much smaller. Just allow it to tail off to next to nothing. And then I want to use the black in with that colour, mix it darker. And then in there you see, it's just a little bit of a difference in the dark tone of it. There. So in with that dark edge, to come in and start putting some of them details in. Just in that left hand side. And it's not as misty in there. See how that's a lot sharper, and then it goes off into this misty spot. Now I'm just going to completely wipe off my brush now. Go back into the blue, lavender, and then just up in here, well, that's a wash out slightly. I just want to finish this edge. There. Sort of little bobble on the bottom of it, as though it's not a straight edge in there. Right, so time to come back to my liner brush now for these little areas. So, same colour on my liner brush. And I'm just going to gently come in with that. Allow it to mix a bit first, like I am doing there, with the liquid white that's underneath. And once you've done that, you can do it. You should go for it. and paint behind it. This one. And the exact same at this side. Allow it to mix with the liquid white. I'm just going to bring it from there and right down and through. That's the one. Perfection. And now you get to see all that showing through the windows. Just come back up into there and blend that. There being old stained glass windows at one time. Don't know whether it were a church or what it was. Just love finding these ruins and painting them. I think they really are. They've got a lot of character to them. It's a bit smaller as this one up here actually. When I've got it. You can always change that, you see, if you do it too big. Just go back and there you go. That's spot on. Right, I'm going to leave it at that for that stage. Back in here, I can actually just scratch a few little indications, some little sticks and twigs. Just very, very delicately though, and very fine. I don't want them to be really distinct. Same in here, you can come up into there, give yourself a little trunk and stuff for that tree. Something to hold it all up. And then what I like to do generally is I'll just go back in here and there and just cover some of them up a little bit so that just enough shows through. Cool, I'm happy with that. Right, so fan brush, I'm going to use straight cadmium yellow, both sides, and then a bit of light green. So I'll put that colour said there so that you guys can really see that well. It's very yellowy green that we're using. Very, very yellow green. That's light green that we're using there, mixing it with cadmium yellow. Right, so I'm just going to use that just up in here. I want to touch and just check it out to see how it looks. Just on that bit I'm going to actually put a bit of white as well, just to brighten that colour up a bit more. See that just in there. This is going behind is this grass, and it's more yellow in this area, and it actually starts to actually get a bit of a tinge, a small tinge of orange into that as well. And then as it comes over into here, it turns more into the green. So I'm just gonna, this is where the light's zinging through. So I'm gonna mix that yellow green, that's just straight yellow green, but I have got the other colours on the brush as well. And I really want to use a bit of sap green as well with that. Maybe here and there, the smallest amount of sap green. That's it. Plenty of this colour, especially down in here. I want it to be quite bright, so I can mix that with the liquid white in there. We just have the tones just at the moment. That's all I'm going for, certain tones. Right, so now then, just in here, just put some sap green and some of the light green as well, just in there. Allow that to blend in nice and softly. But I still want it quite light. I don't want a dark green, I want it to be extremely light. And then we can put some shadows actually into that then. I want to keep it really bright over in here where the sun is, where the sunlight's coming through there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this greeny yellow just under there first, but then I'm going to drag a bit of the orange into it. So I've just got some orange on my brush, and I don't want it to be too red, too much to the red side. So I've got that, and I'm just going to put the slightest bit just in there on that edge, and then I can come up with a 1-inch brush and just blend that in. A slight orange hue to it there, where it comes through, and then I blend that and allow it to mix with the liquid white underneath there, and that's just a tinge of that orange. Now I'm just checking out, but a bit of that orange actually comes through into the reflection area as well, just in there. So I'll put that in now and blend that out. Great. Now I'm just working out in my mind where I want this little area to go. There's an extra, a separate part which puts that in the background. So I'm just going to use this orange colour at first, and I'll come in like so, go up. There's just a bit of a little raised embankment just in there, and then I want that to be very orange inside. It's hitting the light as it's coming through basically. Pull down at an angle either side. That's it. And just see how I've made it feathered on that edge. Feather edge. You really want a feather edge on that. That's good. Now again I'm just going to step back. I want to bring a little tiny bit of dark into this. So what we'll do, we'll just use a bit of the darker lavender just in the odd area, so just around there. I want to put some of that, but then I'm going to actually pull that down at that angle as well. But where the light is, I want to leave it just orange. Maybe there's a bit of that just there. So you're actually mixing that really well with this orange. That's the whole idea. Leave that glow in there, don't destroy it. That orange glow, and then it gets a bit darker towards this edge. Okay. Something like that. And then just underneath, we've actually got a load more grass. So I'm just going to softly blend that underneath. Smart. Right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use this actual building. We've got an area that comes out. It's the same darkness, if not a bit darker, a bit lighter, just a bit lighter than this. It should be the same really. So just in there we have like a line. I'm just going to mark it now. It comes out at an angle, at a really sharp angle, out to about there. See that? And what this is, it's a little tiny wall. I started to pick up a bit of that colour then, so what I've done is I've just stopped to give myself a chance to just pick up that colour and blend that away so it's not in there. I want that colour to go straight through onto this wall. Just for now, I'm using the fan brush. Just the good old fan brush. And then over this way it actually comes. Again, this is a wall, a little closed in area, so it comes from there through to about there. Something like so. And then as you come into this area, you start putting the indication, some little stones and stuff on top of that. Because what happens is there's a little area where there's a pathway coming through, just in line with that. So if people will walk through, there needs to be a gap in this wall. Use a tiny bit of black with that same colour, just to help darken it off slightly. There. So this wall comes along and then drops down. Same there, comes along and just drops down there. There. Now what you can do, let's see if it's going to work. See how I'm blending this? You can, if you want it a bit smaller, because that's a bit fatter than I wanted it actually, you can actually just come underneath and redo that line by blending away the excess paint. See that? Works really, really well. Come under it again. There. Because everything's wet, you see, you can get away with that. Blend that in nice and soft. Now, just in that area, there's a few little like stud up things. I don't know whether they're what they were used for. But there's a few little things going on in here, like rocks and stuff, or pillars. Just in there, see a little bit of something going on. And you know, there we've got like a gravestone type thing going on. There. It's like a half oval. There, that's good.